I think my MacBook Air is a little funky. Today is September 12th. 9/11, I found out that, let's put some of this cream on, since it's kind of disturbingly, yeah, getting worse. Yeah, as I was saying, 9/11, I went over to John's house to check on, house sitting. Then I saw his sister. I was like, whoa! That gave me a shock because at first when I walked in, I saw the fan was going and I was like, John left without shutting off the fan? That's one thing I will do. I will shut off the fan for him and check the mail. Since the 3rd of September, he gave me the key. Walked up the staircase on top of it, and I was like, I was greeted. I guess John's sister liked the fan too, just like John. They both fan lovers. So I was like, it was quite a shock. But the worst shock was John is in the hospital. Open heart surgery at age of 52. Like, I'm so confused. Shocked, confused, all the above. Didn't realize that John had a heart condition. He said that he had yeah, how did John have a heart condition? He's diabetic. Anyway, so you thought you know somebody, but you don't really know about their health situation. And I was discussing with him about my dad's condition. We realized that John too has a condition. So when I text him on Thursday, the 4th, to make sure he made it, I never had a response, but, I forgive him because John doesn't really respond to my text right away, so I just took upon my responsibility that he had enlisted me for, to check on his house for, just how keep while he's away. So he's still in ICU. That's what his sister said. And I'm not family, but friends, so I wait until John come out of ICU and in the heart floor cardio, or is it vascular? Bring him congee, probably chicken congee, because didn't realize he had a heart condition. Again, I was only told that he had a heart condition by him all these years. See, I know him 2014. That's when I met Amber. So it's been 6 years. I know he was diabetic. He is diabetic. I know that he has bipolar, but I didn't realize he also have a heart issue. Did want to take a trip to Vietnam with him back in 2016, but we went to Parlor and we met this waitress that really was. I filled out the comment survey submitted for lottery. When I give it to her, I saw that she threw it in the trash instead of submitting it. So, being the only Asian there, I'm very sensitive when it comes to American society. When I go places, I observe people. And throughout the whole meal, you know, it's a comedy act. Before the comedy act, they both were like chatting happily, John and her. So I'm like, no biggie, John is my friend. But, you know, being with him, people perceive that we're a couple. And I guess her niche was, I'm going to take your man because you're with him. Well, first of all, that's her personality. That's fine. You know, just acting like that. So I observe her. And what did she do with my comments for the lottery? She threw in the trash next to her. And then, you know, I didn't take it lightly. I don't care if she's a flirt, whatever. I approached her and I said, after the comedy act, I said, excuse me, I gave you my comment survey, and I wonder if you submitted for the lottery, because you know it has your name and email. And she say, yeah, I did. She said, yeah, I did. I'm like, no, you didn't. I'm like, if you did, and she was standing next to the trash bin, why is it right in here in the trash? I caught her. She was a young girl. Probably her early 20s. So I caught her. And I said, I'd like to talk to your manager. Why do you have us fill this out? Take our time giving you our personal information. And instead of submitting it, you're throwing it away. I would like to address this issue with your superior. Then she said, oh, he's not here. Can you believe it? She said, he's not here. So I'm like, oh, yeah? And then she started to run away in the back. So I tail her, follow her to the main lobby. Then I saw her approaching this bald guy in a nice blazer and vest. No, older man. Not bald, older. Looked kind of, you know, it's a club. Looked kind of haggard. Maybe had some drinks. She was whisper something to him. So I approached him and I said, yeah, I don't know why you let us, you pass this out for us to fill it out, and then when I spend time filling it out and submitted it, it get trash instead of turn in for lottery. And the nerve of the guy, after I said that, he goes, "Lady, I need you to get out of here." I was shocked. I was like, and John was just standing there, he followed me, and he's just standing there. I guess it was noisy, so he didn't hear what I said. So I looked at that guy, and I'm like, huh. I just hauled my ass. I'm like, okay. I left. And when I was in the car, I was really pissed off. John, he just didn't help me or anything. Maybe he wasn't aware. He just followed around me like that. So that's when I canceled my trip with John. I sent him a text or something. I said, I don't want to go. And he was pissed off. He doesn't understand why. I'm like, that girl had help from that vested guy, and I have you standing there without helping me, confronting that dude. So I feel I faced the battle all by myself. And, as a friend, if you were to go to Vietnam and somebody attacked you or racially discriminate you, I would be there to scream at that person. And now I'm at Pollard and confronted by white people, and I'm Asian, and you didn't help me. Maybe because he was out of it, I don't know, he couldn't hear or something. So I was fighting the battle by myself, and my response is to retreat, because obviously the manager is unreasonable. He already chose his side. So, I didn't take that down. The next day I sent a comment to Pollard in the website. I described my situation, but I never heard a response. They closed down the business, but a year later or 6 months later, it wasn't doing that well. It's like a drinking place, and it's very expensive. That was 2016. I wanted to stop by and find another manager to talk to, but my white American friends, they're sort of busy, and I was busy too, so I didn't have a chance, but I did made a comment on their website, but I never got responded. So that's what I face when I live in America. Places I go, who I'm with, got disrespected by people like that girl. And that's not the first time I encountered discrimination. I just encounter discrimination everywhere I go in America, even to Safeway, the grocery store. Another incident, fairly recent too, within the last 5 years, was going to Safeway. And when I tell my American friend, they was like they don't, I tell Dan, and he was very defensive, and I was like, I'm not attacking you, I'm just telling you my experience. And then I tell my other friend Ed, and he was another issue. It's a school issue about bullying, picking on a little tiny Asian girl. And Ed, who has a daughter, and he said, oh, that's because she's Asian. And the first thing they ask is, how tall are you? For a school district who asks about how tall, height, weight, gender, race, that's discrimination itself. It's kind of funny. I was at Safeway, and Russian, they consider newly immigrant Russian because they have a deep accent. You can tell. And they consider themselves white. So me looking at me. Hello, look at me. Yeah, I have green hair now, sometimes yellow. Without speaking, you would probably think I'm Asian, but it's true, I am. And I'm not that tall, I'm only 5'1". So in society, when I pair up with people, visually, people in general will, you know, make their own judgment just visually, just the human fight and flight internal mechanism. So I went to Safeway. This is prior to Paula. And it's kind of like very, you know, you go to the checkout, you get in line, you know. It's called a fair system, right? You get in line. And, you know, the person in front of you get his stuff checked out. So you would think you're the next one to get checked out too. On the contrary, not. So with his broken English, with deep accent, the cashier said, speaking in Russian, had the woman behind me go in front of me to get checked out. Didn't say anything. Didn't say in broken English or anything, or even excuse. Just went ahead speaking in Russian to the girl behind me to get her stuff checked out. I was like, huh? So, you know, I went over to I took all my stuff, went over to and I don't have that much, grab all my stuff, went over to the self-checkout, you know, the machine that you check out. And I see like an Asian lady cashier there, you know. She manages the self-checkout. And I made a complaint. I'm like, what do you need to do here to get fair treatment? You have to be Russian? You have to look white? And she was kind of baffled, you know, she worked there. And she was like, I'm like, who's your manager? I asked her. Because I was over the other checkout with a Russian guy there, and he just skipped me, and I'm next one in line, so I'd like to file a complaint. I did file a complaint with but they never respond to me, and that dude is still working there. He's probably the manager, because he just burned my complaint. And recently, 2020 now, 6 years later, and many other discrimination stuff, such as the bully issue of minority at Lake Washington School District in Washington, and also Mukilteo School District, where they just ignored you or don't want to make a statement for you because you're not as important in a certain population. Of all these cases, I'm not saying that I go and battle discrimination just because, you know, I make it evident or pronounced. Well, yeah, it's pronounced because I experience it, and it become a marked in my heart, you know. If it's not pronounced, then why would I make a big deal out of it, right? If I'm going through trial and tribulation through my experience as a human being, you know, it's important to me. I don't go out that much, but when I do, I'm aware of my surrounding. So, I forgot what I was going to say in respect to another discrimination issue. I was describing John. We were going to Vietnam, but we ended up not to because I just didn't feel that I had his backing when I'm out with him. And I was mad because I might as well go out by myself and defend myself than having a friend to go with and then face that kind of challenge without him. So that's how I felt at that time. So I didn't want to go Vietnam. And he was pretty upset, but he got over it. That was 2016. And that would have been a great adventure for us to go, because I think it would have given him perspective on how to eat properly, because John high blood pressure in my eyes because his parents don't have that condition, and not that I know of. I mean, his dad is in his 80s, and he's healthy with his mom in Iowa. So John's condition, high blood pressure, recently that I was told on September 3rd, was due to, and the reason I'm talking about this is not because it was a shock to find that he had, a condition of that extreme, quadruple, open heart. After all this time, I only thought he had like diabetes and bipolar, but I didn't realize that he had an extreme condition like circulatory. And if I had known that he had a circulatory problem, when he told me that he had like depression, and I just recently found that out too. I only thought he had bipolar, but I didn't know he had depression, like suicidal tendency. I always thought that bipolar is a condition, that a mental condition that you can't really control. You try to manage, but depression, I always assume that if you're given society's awareness that we always help ones who are suicidal to weave away from that kind of thinking. And I didn't know he had that when he voiced it out, initially at the beginning of the year, this year in March. I had said, hey, I majored in psychology, I could help you. But he never responded. And when he does, it takes him like a week to respond, so I was like, I give up on you. I guess you're more healthier than you said you are not. And so, just like when I asked him, you made it to Iowa, or you made it yet? And he didn't respond to me. I just accepted that, leave me alone. I'm with my family now. Never thought that it was taken into the emergency for open heart surgery. Along the line with, I did not realize that traveling within the states that he would need, like a traveling buddy. I thought maybe to Vietnam he needed a traveling buddy because Vietnam is a place like, it's a country, a developing country, so there might be fraud and stuff like that, and he needs. But after watching YouTube on Americans in Vietnam, it seems like don't be too have more faith in people, I guess. But I was hoping that I would show him Vietnam in a way, give him like a perspective so he could find a partner because he's single, and I was hoping that maybe among the Vietnamese population he might give himself a different perspective of pairing up with different life partner from a different. I don't know his take. I mean, initially Amber pair me up with him because he never made any sound attempt or consistent attempt. So I never got pursued in that respect. But I thought his taste was like more of like Latino, or because he said he was on Match.com or some kind of website that there was a lady from South America that kind of picked his interest. But that was like long ago, and I was like, South America, huh? Be careful, those ladies I don't know what you say. I don't know. I just feel like, what about the Asian population? They're little petite people. Anyway, so John in ICU right now. His sister is have the right to visit him, and I was told that Brad, his ex-roommate and friend, is very emotional at this time in a negative way, and it's a little stressful for his family, his sister and her boyfriend, to deal with people negativity when the situation, demand for a positive outlook. And I'm not friends with him, Brad. I mean, I was given a couple chances, but I just felt like it's so far away, in a sense that I don't want to be there. And Brad, he has his own family, so I didn't feel like I need to partake in. I met Amber, and she was kind of happy-go-lucky, so I like her. I tried to introduce her to Aaron, but because I thought they had blue eyes, but she didn't like Aaron. So in payback, she's like, okay, then you will not pay back, but I will introduce you to John. I tried to introduce her to someone else, but for that first attempt, she's been, no, I think your taste is a little different from mine. I'll go find on my own. And she's on sites. Not very successful on that site. She found her husband now at work. T-Mobile. So, in that way, those silly site is just, what's the word for it? Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you don't find love on those sites. I found that out a long time ago. I'm not on that site. I was on that site maybe back in 2008. I did meet a few friends who are great people. I met Skip. He's but not as a partner. He's gone through trial and tribulation in relationships. He did not, did he? Yeah, I think he might have met his second wife from those sites. That would be a tough lesson learned. But he still, meet people on there. Not recently, because it's COVID. And yeah, and I think he's okay. Yeah. Some sites are okay, for others it's kind of like, no thanks. Just like me thinking, no thanks. It's maybe to make friends, but not lifelong partner. Like, for me, I mean, I don't have much luck in those websites. So John's situation is a little sensitive right now. Only because the situation comes to I wish that I was there at the airport with him, and if he had passed out, I would give him CPR, and then I would go on the emergency ambulance with him. And then I would make sure that, that he was taking certain medication, let the doctors know. I don't know how long his diagnosis of high blood pressure. I mean, I've only been told that he had that September 3rd. I mean, last year he wasn't on that I'm aware of. I would try to persuade, the surgeon at Swedish not to do open heart, and to reconsider that. I'm not saying that I'm preventing, but I just felt that, I would not want him to have that done. I try to resuscitate him, give him, anti-coagulate medication for his heart, but things have been done, so. Yeah?
Hey.
What?
Are you sleeping in?
Why?
I just asked you.
Why?
We made the third, I watched the news, we made the third worst air quality in the world. Woohoo!
For now.
We're the third. California and Oregon are ahead of us. So we're the third.
Yeah, it won't stay. It's just because of the fire.
Because of the fire, exactly.
Yeah, it's not permanent.
It'll go away. I mean, it's supposed to go away Monday.
Yeah,
so.
No biggie.
Yeah. Anyway. So what are you doing this morning? Just reading?
No, I'm doing a YouTuber thing. I'm YouTubing.
Oh, very cool. How to make masks?
Yeah, I'm fixing a mask. I was watching a YouTube on people visiting Vietnam, and then I was inspired to continue my practice of mask making.
Very cool. Okay.
Except,
yeah, you did a really good job. Those are really, really good. I like them.
Except my machine is kind of funky, so now I'm doing by hand.
You do it by hand?
Well, because, my machine had, after like 300 masks, it
Probably need to do needles.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Doing what you do by hand,
But here's a really hard one. I stitched leather seats together, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Because you really got to have a lot of hand strength, and you rip your hand apart. Yeah. I have to admit, what I do is I don't have a thimble, because you have to pull the needle through. Yeah. I use tape and tape my finger all the way up, and then I have some gauze, and I have in the middle, so then I can push on it. Because with your bare fingers, it'll rip your finger apart.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. No, I have not heard from John's sister yet, so.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Well, he's probably still in the ICU then, right?
Yeah, he had open heart surgery, so he's gonna probably be there for 3 days unless he has like a emergency contact, like a wife or a persistent, knowledgeable person to get him out of ICU. And then, since he's awake right now, see, the thing with hospital is you want to be able to show them that you can take pills, because right now everything is fed through the vein, his pills.
Intravenously, yeah.
So, you want to show, first of all, to get yourself off ICU, all right, you have to have persistent family member who will say, I need him off ICU. And then once he's off ICU and he's at the cardio floor, floor where they take care of cardio patients, then when you're on that floor, you have to have, a caretaker and preferably a wife or knowledgeable sister who would say, and it has to be a family member, it cannot be a friend, who insists on caregiving you and also insists on, a pill form, not anymore IV through the meds through IV.
Gotcha.
Because you don't want to be in ICU, all right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be in the hospital altogether.
No, I don't.
But that's why, nurses are there, because, they are there thinking of the worst. And the worst is you don't have someone to take care of you when you go home. You're not taking your meds, and that's a serious situation.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And so you have to show that you have a care provider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand.
So his sister, as a visiting person, is just getting informed information, but not having knowledge of how to get him out of ICU. Because she's there as a listener to the marketeers, and the surgeons and the care and the hospital people are marketeers. They're not after his health. They are not after his overall health in respect to, like, he should, to me, he did not need open heart surgery for a quadruple. Because first of all, he's 52. Second of all, he did not have a chronic history of circulatory. He had a long history of diabetes, which could, trigger a stroke, a heart attack. But he was taking his medication, and he's 52. So I think the blood pressure thing his high blood pressure originates from his diabetes. All right. Now, and they attack his heart for quadruple because he did not have, when they took him from the airport to the emergency and performed that, looking at his CAT scan, the contrast shows the constrictions of the arteries in his heart, and they went ahead and they butcher him. Now I'm definitely sure that he has a long surgical scar down his chest. And luckily he has Microsoft insurance that covered $2 million worth of quadruple heart surgery. But
$2 million, you think? Just $2 million?
Yeah. But his insurance covered that. But my concern, for him, he has a sister who visited him, and he see a friendly face. But, see, you don't visit people. You analyze situation when you go there, Yeah. And you wanna take him out of that condition, preventing him further, necessary stay. Each stay you are in a hospital, an ICU is $500 a stay. ICU can be $1,000 depending on what kind of meds. And they told her that she's on heart cleanser. So that means it's around $2,000 even for an ICU stay. I'm not saying that, he's not worthy of it, but I'm saying, like, you don't take medication because you see side effects. The longer you stay at a facility that administer all these Western medicines, it's hazardous. You don't even drink coffee. There is a side effect for anything that is not natural. So the longer he stays, the sicker he will be. ICU purpose is to care for you after operation. The best care for after any kind of operation is not to be in ICU, because ICU does not have, you know, the natural air, and you're suffering from circulatory natural air, and also he's a mental case since he has bipolar and depression. It does not give you that kind of mental wellness. Yeah, they're afraid of infection due to his, you know, he right now has low blood pressure, which is a contrast to his high blood pressure. So this crash is due to them, you know, not to him. Okay, he had high blood pressure, he told me, on September 3rd, and then he had open heart surgery on September 4th. So my saying is, you're taking blood pressure pill to monitor your blood pressure. You have open heart surgery, and now you crash with low blood pressure. So where's the medium? I guess they're not letting him out. They want to see his body accept the stents, his quadruple. Mm-hmm. And they also want to see, you know, the medication that I administer 3 times a day through his IV, that it's stabilized. But it's all internal, you see. Those medication that they giving him, and they better know that, first of all, you know, he's glucose, so nothing he is eating, everything is through IV. That is not what your body make of. But who insists on this procedure? From an MRI, from a CAT scan that they did, because he passed out.
It was Menendez. He was your dad's doctor.
Yeah, but he's at Swedish.
I know, I'm just saying, a person like that, an idiot.
Swedish is pretty pronounced. It's a great hospital, actually. You know, a lot of people fly to Swedish to get procedures done. But just because, you know, people they fly there to get procedures done, they have to also understand that when you fly there, you also make sure that you have your loved ones around, and who is knowledgeable, you know. Like I was telling you, you know, my friend, mom, who's a nurse, and when her husband died in the operating table, she sued the fuck out, and, you know, she sued the hospital. She won. Yeah. She's a nurse. But he shouldn't have died, you know, at the age of 60-something. Even though he was on every meds there is for whatever condition, circulatory and diabetes. So my concern for John right now, and his sister is visiting, and that's the pig, you see, and John is a monkey. She's going to comply with their protocol, but she has to question those protocol, you know, and she has to show sincere knowledge so that they would push him to health and not to treat him, you know, like a resident in ICU, because that's what they're going to treat all patient. And John is not going to say, he's a passive and introvert personality. Even though he's awake right now, and he's not acknowledging the year, well, he asks what year it is, they're going to take that and they're going to say, you know, it's affecting your mental health, in a sense that, you know, during that period when you collapse at the airport, maybe lack of oxygen to your brain, so now you have dementia or amnesia. Yeah. See, they will make things worse for him. John have to acknowledge that I need to get out of ICU by forcing them to get me out. You know, make an extreme effort and voice it too. Not just complying. You know, have to make a statement, telling the nurses, hey, when am I getting out here? And consistently telling them so they can push him to the cardio floor. And at the cardio floor, he will make a more, extreme statement with the nurse. Give me pill form so I can take it at home.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Anyways, that's my take. What are you doing? Are you going to
Vlogging right now.
Oh. Where?
I'm just gonna walk at Robbinswood.
Oh. Okay. You go ahead, walk. That's good for you.
Yeah. I have a mask, so I'll wear my mask when I'm working.
Why? You're not talking to anybody.
No, it's smoky.
Oh.
It's super smoky. I mean, we're like all sucked in.
Okay. I'm going to use the
All
machine.
right, so I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, I'll talk to you then. Okay.
Okay, great. Yep.
Bye. I like this, the machine, straight stitch, because it's consistent compared to what I was doing, with the hand thing, because yeah. The reason I picked up fixing my mask, because also it's a therapy for me. I was really depressed yesterday. I just came home from visiting, talking to John's sister. I just went to sleep for like 2 hours, from 3 until 5. Because it was like a shock. But and I haven't picked up sewing for like a week or so, or two, because my dad's situation was kind of sad too. And you hear doctors, or his situation is a little complicated too. You know, his vascular surgeon retire at a young age, 47. And then we're faced with a new doctor new surgeon, who's just not top of her game. We spent 2 hours at ultrasound for his triple A abdominal aorta aneurysm back in 2015. So we had like 2 hours of ultrasound. Last Friday, that Friday where John was taken in, spent like 2 hours there with a radiologist and then the surgeons, the new surgeon, not Dr. Sue, but the new one, wanted to do a CAT a CT when he's already have really low output for his kidney. It's like it was at 32 and then it was at 22. And she insists on a CAT. Okay. And then when she realized that cannot be done, she insists on another ultrasound that we had, spent 2 hours with the previous ultrasound with 2 radiologists. And now she wants to conduct one in her own office. So, hearing her wanting to do that and insist on doing that, my dad just gave up on her. It's like, lady, you need to read your charts, and so things won't get redone and it tire my body out. I think that one thing that really upset him was like, the radiologist had said that the CAT scan, initial attempt due to his blood that it cannot be done is at the kidney, and yet she kept insisting on it and poking him. And then her reasoning is, let's lower the contrast. The dye in your blood, that contrast, that's the irony here. Whatever dosage, small dose, big dose, it's still in your blood. So, and it's going to go filter through the kidney. So you insisted on lower dose, it's still going to get filtered through the kidney. And if your kidney is due for dialysis, that's going to fail and have. So, lady, surgeon, don't use that. Triple A mean a stent in the abdomen, which already exists. You just go in there and patch the leaking. I'm so confused, lady. As a layman, yeah, you need a CAT, but the kidney is not going to handle the contrast. And looking at his age, it's common sense. Can you spare the man of his kidney? Oh, but I'm going to fly blind. That's where Dr. Sue initially seems like a miracle worker, but retired at age of 47. Become ingenious. Because he was flying blind 2016 when he had to repeat the procedure, a year later. due to my dad's failure to take his medication throughout, the year. So, it's not heartwarming to hear certain doctor, what's the word? Repetition for certain things. And they kind of like, 6 years for your bachelor just to get your medical degree. Well, you would want someone who give you that kind of confidence when you go under the table. But any procedure going under the table through a scalpel, you sort of want to avoid, just because you're young and you can handle it. But if you're aging, you want to avoid that. And for someone who don't give you that kind of confidence, the trust that you, I don't know, it's like, who doesn't have your back? Yeah. And, it's my dad too. He's like the one who makes the decision of what to do with his body. And he doesn't have confidence in her. He had confidence in Dr. Sue, who retired at a young age. But he did not have confidence in this woman doctor who failed so many times to give him that sort of confidence that is needed to go under, to be on her table. And as a bystander, I don't have confidence in her too. She sort of confidence me out. Yeah, she have 10 to 20 years of experience based on her bio. But sometimes you kind of like, you do have, but you don't have. That's another reason I'm walking on the treadmill, to give me that. And I haven't been walking consistently for the last 2 weeks because, as someone who cares for a rider, or someone who involved in other people, close friends and relative health. It's kind of draining. It drains the person. So that's why I haven't walked. Like the initial 3 months, I was like into this extreme walking stuff. But I picked up today. Primarily because and can you tell I kind of add a little weight to my belly? The last 3 weeks of eating and feeling sad sort of deal. It's not hard, you know, to exercise. It's quite simple. Oh, this is a three-way. It's a little thick, though. Is it thick? Huh? Maybe thick is good. That's one thing about our humanness is recover. That's why, you know, we don't remember our past life, or, you know, then we also develop Alzheimer's because our synapses won't interact in the front temporal lobe. Alright, so I finished this makeup project. Alright. Okay. 3D. Okay. I like 3D because it's wider. 3D is good. Looks good. It's very colorful. This could be another 3D. Okay, that's it for today, and I'll do again another project, this one later.